Hey guys, welcome back to Intentional Bonus Mom. Today I wanted to talk about something that I've talked about a while ago and ever since then stopped talking about it. I'm not even sure I put it on this channel. I may have put it on my other channel, but as everybody knows, I really suck at videos on that other channel. So we're just gonna I'm pretty sure a year ago was the last time I vlogged on that channel, but that's okay. So on this channel, I kind of wanted to talk about it because I really don't think I did it on this channel. Anyway, this intro is way too long. So I wanted to talk about my anxiety and depression story. And I talked about it in another video, and I'm not sure what order these videos are coming to you in, but hey, you'll get a little bit of it in a different video. And that video is about how my childhood helped me become a more prepared-ish stepmom. Anyway, so in this video, I want to talk about, well, let's just talk. I'm really tired of doing that. Okay, so it started probably when I was about 12. I remember having like anxiety, and when you're young, you really, I feel like even when you're older, you may not, you probably think you're having a heart attack, like something's really wrong, your heart is racing, you might feel like you're gonna get sick, you feel really weak, and so your body's like freaking out, and you tend not to know why. So I feel like it's a very common thing for teenagers to have anxiety and even depression, because sometimes they don't go hand in hand, but sometimes they do. And in my case, they went hand in hand. So it started, I would say, about 12. I started realizing like something was going on, and I remember talking to my mom about it. My mother suffers from anxiety too. And she was like, yeah, you're just having a panic attack or anxiety attack. She's like, you know, it's okay. Just remember to breathe. Well, it got to a point at 14 where I actually went and spoke to the doctor about it. And the reason I did that was because I just felt like things were not right. I knew in my head things weren't right. I didn't really know what steps to take. I come from I would say, community of family of people who don't believe in getting help. Like if you break your bone, yeah, you go get help, but mental help is kind of and so at this time in my life, I would say that they were not totally supportive because they didn't believe that this was actual like help. It was more like, oh, whatever, they're not real doctor. And so I kind of came from that. And so at 14 I went and talked to the doctor, and I had an amazing pediatrician. He has his own Facebook fan group. I said that's pretty cool. So I spoke to him, and he gave me some tips to how to breathe through it and how a little bit of self-talk. Now, it wasn't to the point where I later learned, but it was good. Well, lo and behold, I never went to the counselor at 14, which I feel like I should have. The older I got, the more I battled with depression, not realizing that was what it was. I just figured I was in a bad mood. I was a teenager. I was really confused. I was really lost. And I think for me, it's in my head. Like, it was, I had a good childhood, you know. I had a normal, average childhood. I was homeschooled. I was super active. I had a car. I had all that. That normal, quote, unquote, normal teenage childhood. But there was a chemical imbalance in my brain. And I wasn't able to process things like I felt like I should have. And so, with that being said, I probably should have gone into counseling then. It wasn't until I was a lot older that I realized, dang, I was depressed. I was depressed as a child. And it came later that I finally realized it. So, let's speed up to when I was right before my 22nd birthday. So it would have been 2011, the early 2011. I said to myself, something is wrong. You're depressed. You can't get out of it. You can't snap out of it. You've been like this for a long time. So I went to the doctors and I spoke to the doctor, and I was like, look, I'm going to tell you right now. I was like, from everything I've read, I've known I've had anxiety for like forever. But now I feel like I'm depressed. I'm like, this is not like just seasonal depression because I haven't seen the sun. Because definitely go through that. I definitely go through that. But I was like, this is like always depressed. And I was like, I will try to make myself happy. I'll try to, you know what they say, oh man, I said it in my last video. Like, I can't force myself to be happy. I can't like, well, you have the control to make yourself happy, or you have the control, you know, mind over matter kind of thing. No. I was like, it's just like I have happy moments, but I still was living in a very depressed world. And so, with that said, the doctor put me on Zoloft, and I went to go see a counselor. And I would have to say the first counselor, me and her did not click. Looking on her, she was great. Me and her didn't click. Then I stopped going to counseling, and that was probably one of the worst mistakes I've made. I remember when I first got put on the Zoloft, I went 6 months without a counselor because I was one of those, oh, this pill will fix everything. Then I realized that wasn't working, so I actually did call a counselor after that. And I started going. We didn't mesh really well, but at the same time, I then would go through a lot of deaths at once and a bad car accident, and I plummeted back down. I went from survival mode for like a year and a half, where there was no real focus on me. It was like help everybody else who's sick and encourage them, and I did find encouragement through that, but I still wasn't where I needed to be. So I would say after the deaths and everything, I went back into counseling. I could not handle it. I was sleeping, I was crying all the time. That counselor not only was teaching me to work through grief, but also to channel myself in a different way, and taught me breathing techniques and taught me how to speak up and how to talk. And then I went to a holiday grief counseling session where they talked about it's okay to say no. It's okay to not want to be around a lot of people. It's okay to say you don't feel good. It's okay to be sad today. In between that and the counseling, I found myself slowly by slowly coming back out. I will also say that God put a special someone in my life during that time, and I hugely credit that person to saving my life. They don't know that. They're actually too young to explain that to, but I would definitely say God put them in my life to help pull me back out of the depression state that I was stuck in and I was miserable in. And after that, I slowly found myself being the sister I wanted to be again, handling the anxiety differently, finding myself happy again, finding myself in a place and finding the true me. Like, I love to laugh. I love to make people laugh. I like to make people smile. I like to give people hugs. I like to be very emotionally connected to people. And so because of all of that, everything, I am where I'm at today. Are there times where I still have anxiety? Yes. Sometimes it randomly pops up and there's no real reason for it. Like, why am I anxious? Okay, that was dumb. And then move on. But I said from a long time ago, back when I was younger, back when I was dealing with depression myself and I had a car, well, it was a truck at the time. I told myself back then, you're not going to let it control your life. Whatever's going on, you're not going to let it control your life. Your mom, to an extent, had it control most of the things that she did. And you're not going to do that. And so, therefore, because of that, because I made that deal with myself or that challenge with myself, I never wanted my siblings, my younger two siblings, to miss out on anything. It was like, we're going to do it. We're going to do things. And they've been on vacations, and they've been to the zoo, and they've gone to like millions of movies, and we've taken them to the beach several times. Like, there's so many things that we're not gonna let certain things stop them from going out there and exploring the world. And if my parents can't do it, then us kids do it. It's one of those things that there were things that, and I don't blame my parents. There are things that happened in our childhood. There are things that my mom was comfortable with, and there's things my mom wasn't comfortable with. And because of that, I never stopped. I never stopped wanting them to have everything. And I don't blame her. I mean, I'm a grown-up. I'm doing the things that I wanted to do back then. So definitely don't blame anybody. But I definitely know that let's break the chain. I'm not going to let anxiety rule my world or say, oh, I can't go out because I might have an anxiety attack. Okay, I have an anxiety attack. It's not going to be the end of the world. It's not the first time, and it won't be the last time. And I will have to say, for me, a lot of things is change in environment that really helped me overcome the depression and the anxiety. And when I feel too stuck, then I feel it creeping back up. If I feel like there's a lot of emotional things, a lot of things compacting itself on there, it does creep up. And there is a point where I have to tell myself, stop letting it take over your world. And then I have to, sometimes I have to go back into counseling and like relearn everything I learned or get better about my self-talk. So that's just basically a little bit of my journey. I know everybody's journey is different. I was able to come off the medication and haven't been back on since, just pretty much going back to counseling whenever I feel like I need it. If there ever was a time where I felt like I needed to be put back on the medication, heck yeah, I would do it. I have no qualms about it. I think counselors are amazing because they really help you talk. They help you feel comfortable, and they help you realize what you need to do for you. They're not telling you what to do. They're helping you realize what you need to do. So that's basically it. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, link them down below, and we'll see you guys later. Bye.